I wanted to do the parallel between a Buddhism principle and relationship, and it's the fact that being attached can actually prevent you from being happy. And I think being attached can also prevent you from recovering from a traumatic breakup, or in a way, recovering your relationship. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Before I start, I want to remind you that I put together a quiz for you to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. It's about 20 questions that takes 2 minutes to complete. The link is in the description. It will give you a score telling you if you have a chance or not to get back with your ex, along with other tips actually, and some tips depending on your score. So attachments and identity. Sometimes we tend a lot to label ourselves. I am a runner. I'm going to give you the example of my wife. She used to run a lot, and she was preparing for a marathon. And she's like, I'm a runner. I used to run for decades, a lot of time. And you sort of become inflexible on this idea. But one day she hurt herself and she couldn't run. And she had to redefine this identity in a way. She started to go swimming, biking, and she couldn't because it was conflicting with, in a way, her identity. Okay? And I wanted to do this parallel because I think, in a way, we can find some similarities with a relationship. Attachment and ego, and I'm creating this slide based on studies from Joseph Charioki. And when I read this study, I thought, okay, it's very interesting to maybe do the bridge between attachment, generic attachment, and relationship. So attached, we actually attach to the sense of something, the sense of self, the ego. We attach to our lifestyle, we attach to our job title. We feel that define ourselves, my house, my status. And sometimes we are defined by a relationship, right? We lose that sense of self because we're not 1 plus 1, we are as a whole, as a unit. And so what happens when one of them leaves? This is where sometimes we feel so hard to handle breakups because we have this sense of self, this label, and someone removed that label. I was a runner and I enjoyed myself. I can't run. I've lost my identity. I was married. I had this family. My wife, my husband is gone. Removed myself as identity. And so the thing about ego is you don't know you have it until it gets crushed. Until somebody treats you as if you're really nothing special. And when I read this, I thought, okay, I need to do a video on this. I think it's very interesting because when we have this relationship, when we have this definition of self-identity and it's gone, this is when we freak out. Okay, and you're probably freaking out as a result of this breakup. So being attached to a belief, because it's really about the belief system. I'm good in math. I'm anxious. I'm not good at dating. Right? We all have those sort of labeling ourselves, and as a counselor, my job is to help people to remove those labels. They don't define you. Perhaps when you were a kid, your parents told you, you're good at my parents told me, you're good at math. Okay, and I always believed I was good at math until I, went to university and I actually struggled. And then I realized I had to work to be good at math. And so, for example, my parents would tell me, you're lazy. And I grew up with this idea of being lazy. And it took me years to work on myself and to understand that actually procrastination, laziness, it's really about how you see things, how you can be in the flow, how you can find the right things that sort of leverage your talent in a way. Let's not talk about me, it's another topic. So the thing is, those labels can be good for you or bad for you. They can help you to be high achievers. I don't know, if you like football or professional athletes, if you read some of their biographies or listen to the interviews, they feel as if they have this mission. I'm the number one. I have this belief I'm the number one. And because they have this belief system, it helps them. It doesn't mean that everybody who thinks they're number one will become number one, but it does help to stay motivated, to have this grit, to develop this sense of grit. Sometimes those beliefs, those labels are negative. I'm lazy, I'm not going to date anyone. And so it prevents you from being agile, to listen to feedback, to grow. Again, a professional athlete who thinks, I'm meant to be number one in my sport. What happens when they injure themselves? Well, they come to see me and see a therapist because it's really hard to handle and take a lot of time for them to redefine themselves. So what it makes you look like? And let me know in the comment section if it sounds familiar. And that's why when I read this study and I took these notes for this slide, I was like, it's spot on with what my clients are going through. First things, wishing things will stay the same. Second thing, over-focusing on future outcomes. Defining your worth by your, in your case, relationship or your job or your status. Being stuck in rigid belief. Being unable to see multiple perspectives. For me, I know a lot of my clients will tick a lot of these boxes. Is that the case for you? And if it's the case for you, this is why you should watch the end of the video, because or everything in the video, because this is what I'm going to give you some practical tips to help you feel more detached. Okay? The value of non-attachment, before I explain. It's really about the growth mindset. As we discussed, being attached to something forces us to be rigid, to see things in a one way. You are good at math, and therefore you have this fixed mindset. This is who I am, that's my definition, and I can't move from that. Or I'm not good in math, and therefore I shouldn't study math, I shouldn't work on math. When you have this growth mindset, it's like, right now I'm not good in math, but I know if I make the right effort, I know if I have the right resources, I can change. And there's been, if you doubt about this, there's been studies about neuroplasticity. Of course, we are born with certain abilities, certain talents, but we have this neuroplasticity that helps us to change things in our brain. And so what you have right now, it doesn't determine exactly what you'll be, what you'll become. That's what I do with my clients. I bring them on a journey of growth, of bringing them from one place to another, because it's possible, right? Also, the value of non-attachment is the sense of interdependence versus codependency. So you create this sense of being self-sufficient, being agile, versus relying on someone, relying on that belief. And also, and last and probably the most important one, that could also be important in your day-to-day life, is how it's helping you to be equipped to deal with change. If you have this attachment to your job title, you lose your job. If you're not attached to your job title, if you're not attached to your relationship, it's easier to handle things. I'm not saying that you should detach yourself from the relationship, forget your ex and move on and not address things that didn't go well in your relationship, but I think it's very important emotionally to understand how strongly you're attached with this relationship. Tip 1, whenever you have those thoughts, whenever you have this idea, use sometimes. I'm anxious. I'm sometimes anxious. I'm not good at dating. Well, I'm not good at dating sometimes. Because something that would be almost like laws, like the 10 Commandments, becomes something that could change. Because things can change. Okay, if you're watching my videos, if you're watching tips online, it's because you have the belief system that things that can change, that you can change, that you can have an impact on your life. So stop thinking, I'm anxious, I'm not good at math, I'm lazy, I'm fat. Things can change, okay? Sometimes. Tip number 2, here and now. And that's what I do with some of my clients when I do hypnotherapy, is bringing them the here and now. Often we are caught in attachment because we are not in the present moment. So as soon as you get back to the present moment, as soon as you tune in with yourself, whether it's with breathing exercises, doing meditation, hypnotherapy, bringing yourself back here. And that physiologically will also reduce anxiety and any tension in your body and in your mind in a way. So you will feel great, That's why, it's kind of why Buddhism is also based on this attachment. It's the idea of being in the here and now. The tip number 3 is to step back. It's really about finding perspective. One way you can do it, I put my name, but it could be, how would my best friend look at that problem? How would my best friend feel about my situation? And find people who you feel are, at this stage in life, more resilient or are more secure in relationship. How would they act? How would they see life? Visualize this. Find another perspective on things. The second thing is you have to accept that there's no normal. Stop comparing yourself. If your ex is dating someone, stop comparing yourself with that person. We can't compare. It doesn't make any sense. I'm anxious. I'm more anxious than anyone. There's no normal. Okay, accept that there's no normal. We're all different. We're all unique. And accept this. It doesn't define you, right? It's not about benchmarking, and we tend to do that with social media, with Instagram and Facebook. We compare ourselves. We have likes, don't likes. It's sort of normal or natural, but have to remove yourself from this because it's not helping you. If you want to get your ex back, you need to be able to work first on being less attached, because there's a lot of value in working on your emotion and getting to that stage of detachment, of neutrality. You'll become more secure, and your ex will be attractive with someone who is more secure. You will avoid saying stupid things or doing stupid things. That's what I do with my clients. I obviously prevent them from saying things or doing things that are stupid, but by bringing them on their journey of becoming more secure, not only I come from a place where I tell them what to do, to them realizing what are the right things to do. And so if I succeed, then they leave me and they're better off, which is a bit bad for me, but that's the idea. At the beginning, because you're so fueled by this idea of attachment, by this idea of I've lost my self-identity, you can't really see things straight, and I'm here for that, to help you challenge your thoughts, and sometimes I would be telling you what to say or what to do in your case. But as you grow, you'll start to realize, to understand how to connect, how to communicate with your ex, how to feel better, how to feel more secure, and things will be more natural. My job is not to be there for you for the rest of your life. My job is to empower you to feel more secure, to build something sustainable with your ex. And it's a process. And of course, that's the process that I go through with my clients. If you want to work on yourself, if you want to feel more detached, if you want to relieve the pain that you have right now, that's probably something we could be doing. So get in touch with me. There's a link also in the description to either send me a WhatsApp or book a call with me, a free call, so we can get to know each other and I can help you in your situation, give you some tips and guidance. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.